Good morning. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. Um, I uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's Friday. We are at the end of the week. We are done. We are good. We can somewhat relax. Or sleep. We all need sleep. That's important. Um, Today is a reflection of Mark 8:27 through 30. A very short passage, but I believe a very important passage nonetheless. Um, Let me get to that. There it is. Um, uh, I think it's so important, and also the fact that we made a reference to it earlier in this study. So, uh, who do you say that Jesus is? Prophet, teacher, Lord, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. What is it? Now, if you read with me 27 to 31, Jesus went out with his disciples to the villages of Kersira, Philippi, and on the road he asked the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" They answered him, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others one of the prophets." "But you," he asked them, "who do you say that I am?" Uh, Peter Peter answered um, Peter answered him, "You are the Messiah," and he strictly warned them to tell no one about him. I find this really interesting because we're going to touch on it in a minute, and I won't touch on it until I look at it on the screen. But it's just so interesting at how he was like, "Who do people say that I am?" They gave answers, pretty much four different answers. John the Baptist, others might say Elijah, still others, one of the prophets. So three answers actually. And so I find that interesting. There are some that don't believe in, resurrection or any of that, but they're saying that he is John the Baptist, or uh, who recently died, which is where we actually get this original conversation from. And then Elijah from the Old Testament, and or which is one of the other prophets in general, who obviously also died. So I find that interesting. But I have a question for you. Who do you say that Christ is? Why do people say all these different names of who they believe Jesus to be? In your life, who do you say that Jesus is? Is he your Lord of Lords and your King of Kings? There is a video that perfectly puts it all together and describes who Jesus is. Um, yeah, so this was a pastor. I can't remember his name. I will try to remember to put the video in the description because I think that would be really cool. The first time I heard it was in a Jam sermon video where it's just a summarized sermon overall, but they said this pastor was like, "My king uh, uh, is the king of the Jews." He said it's so like cool, like kind of like that, but he said it a whole lot better than me. He was fantastic in that video. I have never heard anything else by him, but he was talking about how he is the king of the Jews. He's King of Kings, Lord of Lords. That's my king. I wonder if you know him. And that's my question to you today. Do you know him today? And why is this? There it is. Um, do you know him? Do you want to know Christ as your Lord and Savior? Mark 6:15 through 16 is actually the reference from Mark where we first see here. He's trying to figure out who Christ is because of the events, and they go from there. Matthew 16 13 through 20 actually says this, so I'll read it real fast. When Jesus came to the region of the Philippi place, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" He also specifically says Son of Man. Uh, they replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." That's also important that they added Jeremiah as well within the wording. "But you," he asked, "who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." He responded, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father in heaven, and I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overpower it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loosen on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he gave the disciples orders to tell no one that he was the Messiah. He goes into more details within the Gospel of Matthew in comparison, and he really goes into these details of blessed are you, and the fact that it wasn't flesh and blood who told you this, but my Father in heaven. I find that so fascinating, so interesting how that goes about. And then finally, um, uh, 18 through 20, uh, Luke 9:18 through 20. While he was praying in private, his disciples who were with him, he asked, "Who do the crowds say that I am?" They answered, "John the Baptist, others Elijah, still others that one of an ancient prophets has come back. But you," he asked them, "who do you say that I am?" Peter answered, "God's Messiah." There's many good teachers out there's many good teachers, and I won't get into the concept of being good or not, but you know um the only one truly who is good and holy is God. And just like the rich young ruler who called him good teacher, but he rebuked him for saying that, because he's like, "Well, why do you call me good if God alone is good?" And so he was trying to get him to go a little bit deeper with that. And he did all the things that he could do, but he did not say who Jesus is. And so that's the question I have for you. Who do you say that Jesus is today? Again, I've been having issues with YouTube and everything with that, so I'll get the Mere Christianity videos up when I get it up. And Genesis, don't forget, we are starting Sunday. So, um, again, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. And for those who have birthdays this week, happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. Two of my youth are having birthdays, so I hope they have a fantastic birthday. So goodbye, and I will see you Sunday.